go ahead.
Yeah, we're really excited to add Roman Wilson, another really high football character player, a lot of production last year in Michigan, part of that really impressive class in the draft this year. It was really fun being at that Michigan Pro Day, getting a chance to go to dinner with all those guys, with Mike and be a part of that process. Really impressed with him on the football field, but just off the field as well. So getting fired up to get a chance to work with Roman.
Arthur, it seemed pretty obvious from the outset of the Senior Bowl that Mike Tomlin was pretty interested in Roman. When you first got to watch his tape and got to know him, what stood out to you about him?
The competitiveness. I think you can see his instincts on tape. I think stepped up in the big moments. He had a great energy about him too when I met him in person. Just being a part of a lot of people at dinner. Again, you could see meeting a lot of those guys in Michigan why they won the national championship. It's a credit to those players and that staff. Again, we're just really excited to add that kind of value and experience as a rookie and add to that receiver room.
Arthur, where do you expect him to fit into this offense?
Yeah, well, he's got versatility, and so it's as the game's evolved, and if you do motion, you play condensed or early downs. Whether you're at the X or the Z, it's kind of interchangeable. Now you're getting into some of the drop back situations in the passing down. I mean, he's got inside out flex. Certainly, you like his instincts that you can play inside. In those kind of obvious pass situations. He'll have a lot of versatility. He's got a lot of instincts. Again, high football character guy.
The first thing you said was high character guy. At that position, the perception is that there aren't a lot of high character guys. Is that your feeling, and is that why he stands out to you?
I think it's one of the many attributes that makes him an impressive pick for us. But I think that's very subjective. My experience, just go back my own experience where I've been. I've been fortunate to work with guys I think that have high football character. And again, that's a very subjective thing, but I just look at their resumes and just my interactions and their body of work. So whether you agree or disagree with that, I guess it's pretty subjective, but I guess I've been lucky.
Mentioning that high football character, he was just saying that he'll block his ass off. I mean, what does it mean to have a guy that is that gritty, and how important was it when you're looking at tape to see him, doing that dirty work?
Yeah, well, sometimes you don't knock a guy. The way the game is played in college, I guess they're changing some of the timing rules. A lot of offenses get a lot more snaps than they do in professional football. So you don't knock them, especially if they're playing really fast sometimes. But I think with Michigan, you saw call it a pro style. They did a lot of things that would translate to the pro game. What I saw was a great teammate. Everybody wants the ball. That's great. You want guys that want the ball. I got a problem with guys that don't want to work. So the guys are good teammates that do that. You give more possessions. You extend drives. I think the tape shows a lot about your personality. People can say what they want, but you look at their actions, and certainly Romans pop off at you. The tape backs up when you meet them in person. Yeah, we're just really excited to get him in our program.
You drew an analogy, or said that he followed and patterned himself a little bit after Tyler Lockett. He must be your quarterback. You see a little of that imagery. Can you picture that some?
No, I never got a chance to work with Tyler Lockett. I'm a big fan of his. He's a really productive player. That'd be hard for me to compare him. Obviously, if Roman sees himself that way, I think Roman's a unique football player in his own right. And I'm just excited. I won't make a judgment on until I really get to work with him. That's what I can answer that for you.
You do have a very blank slate right now in the receiver room. Is that
Yes.
where that versatility that you mentioned before comes into play? Because you don't know who else could be dotted in there that he can bounce around and do different things. Is that part of why you chose him, where you chose him?
Well, I think as an organization, we felt the value we had to this team. I think the reality in the NFL, we go week in and week out. You're talking about maybe 1,100 snaps in the regular season, and hopefully more playing into February. So you need the depth. Certainly, you may have game plans, and if you have an injury somewhere and you don't have guys that can go in, you're going to have to adapt your plan. So if you have guys that are versatile, they know more than one spot. There's a lot of added value on game day, especially as a young player.
What are some of the things Roman needs to improve on at this level? Is it hard to evaluate it at all when a guy's coming from such a dominant offense and they weren't stopped very often last season?
Yeah, I mean, look, every player, you're going into your 13th season. You're always looking to improve. And there's always things you got to work on. And same with coaches. You want to continue to improve and evolve. So we're just excited that we got a long journey ahead of us. As get ready to play the season, get ready for week 1. That's ultimately what you're starting to build when they get into the building in rookie minicamp. There's a progression to get these guys ready to go. We're just excited he's part of this rookie class.
It looks like
Two more.
It looks like he did most of his damage between the numbers. Just how does that fit into what you want to do here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the game for a lot of teams now, there's so much condensed, to inside the numbers, and people motion all over the place now. So they're not very static. So you've got to be versatile, and a lot of it you're going to get into actions, and you see some of these, what you call them, run alerts or bubbles, and the play action and the movement game. I mean, if you've got instinct, it's different. And then you get to the drop back, and obviously if he's got instinct and he can match up and run in the slot, that's a huge added value, on those critical 3rd, 4th down situations. So we're just excited. Hopefully continue to work like all these guys, and expand his game, and have a little inside-out flex.
One more.
Outside of Russ, this is a fairly young offense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that there will be anything challenging about that, or is that exciting to you that you have a bunch of young guys that you can kind of mold to what you want?
I'm excited. Never been afraid to play young guys or veterans, as you say. Just competition that hopefully we'll have and create. That doesn't give me, and that's not bravado. We've done it, and look forward to working with these guys. And we'll be counting on a lot of these guys. They're young players, not a lot of experience. That ball's going to kick off week 1.